back to Fire Princess Reviews. I'm Fire Princess Lily here to tell you about comics, cartoons, and other awesome nerd shit. So, you'll notice the video's a day late. That's because I was really busy yesterday and was unable to record and upload a video. It's going to happen. So there'll be 2 videos today that I have to record back to back, so expect this look in the exact in the same video. 2 videos, same look. There we go. Done. Cool. I also said that we were going to be talking about the previews, but unfortunately I forgot those today. And it's kind of hard to talk about the previews when you don't have the book. So we're not doing that either. So what are we talking about instead? So instead, we're going to be talking about Zombieland Saga, which, yes, I wanted to talk about anyway, but I did want to get that preview video done for you people who actually watch those. Not many do, but for those of you who do, I really appreciate it. So there will be another extra video. There'll be an extra video this week where I actually talk about it, and that'll be coming up around Thanksgiving. Or the day after Thanksgiving. Look, it's coming. And that's just what it is. Boom. So, let's talk about this. Zombieland Saga is the 3rd best anime series of this season, in my opinion. I really like it. It's a lot of fun. So we're going to talk about why I enjoy it, the things I like about it, which kind of ties into why I enjoy it, and even some of the things that I don't quite like. There are just a couple of things that kind of irritate me a little bit, or that I just that I'm not particularly fond of, and we will cover those. So let's get into it. So what do I like about Zombieland Saga as a show in general? I like that it's colorful. I like that the characters are all fun, and I don't know about necessarily relatable, but they're all definitely fun and interesting. I like that it's specifically focused on the Saga Prefecture, which actually teaches you about Saga, which is neat, because Saga's not really an area of Japan that gets focused on in anime. It's either nameless area, or it's Tokyo, Kyoto, those places. Big tourist spots get mentioned in anime, and that's because they want to attract whatever tourists they can. They're popular areas, they'll connect more to a wider audience, so I get it, I understand it. But that's what makes Zombieland Saga so much fun about being focused on Saga, a place that you practically never hear of, because it actually uses events and places from Saga in the anime, even companies in the anime. For example, there was an episode where they did a commercial for Drive-In Tori. It's a restaurant, it's a chicken place, and they actually not only used an artist's rendition of Chicken Tori, like they drew it as best they could, or maybe they took a picture of it and then arted over it, which is an art style that some people do use. I'm not sure, but they did that, and the owner of Chicken Tori not only was animated into the episode, but he himself voiced his own animated counterpart, which was just him. So that's really enjoyable and really neat, so I really like that. They also featured the, I think I'm pronouncing this right, could be wrong, the Gacha games, and Saga Rock, which I think is an actual music festival that happens in Saga. So that's just, it's real fun, it's really great. I really like those portions of the anime. And I like the marketing that went behind this anime. Now, it was initially marketed as a standard zombie anime. There's going to be violence and blood and zombies and things like that. But it's not. It's not. It's even better because it got a producer that's kind of known for those sorts of shows behind it, and so everybody really thought that's what was coming out. But it's really just kind of, I've heard Love Live with zombies thrown around quite often, and it's just, it's a lot, it's great. It's about a group of 7 girls who are all special in their own ways, but special in the same way, in that they are zombies. Now, they've been resurrected by their manager, Kotaru. I'm probably mispronouncing that totally, that's fine. Because he has a dream of creating an ultimate idol group. to revitalize the Saga area and take it over. That's his dream, and he's resurrected these random girls throughout time, these random women throughout time, in order to get that job done. Our main character is Sakura. Sakura was, when she was alive, she was like a big idol fanatic. She wanted to be an idol herself and was even going to start going to a school to learn how to be an idol. And those dreams were literally crushed by a literal truck. A truck hit her on her first day of school just as she was exiting her house and killed her. And she's actually the first one that, quote-unquote, wakes up. They all get resurrected at the same time as zombies, but their mentalities come back kind of at different points. Sakura comes back first, and the others come back, and then one hasn't come back at all. So there's that. Next we have Saki. She was, I believe, she was a 90s era punk. She rode motorcycles. She was in a girl gang. She beat the shit out of people, and so she was resurrected to be in this idol group. She's possibly my favorite character because I really love the delinquent characters, and just she's really great. And she talks about her Tamagotchi a lot. That like her first words are like, "Oh, my Tamagotchi's probably dead now." That's great. I love it. Then we have Tay, who is the only zombie who has yet to wake up. There are currently 6 episodes out right now, and she hasn't woken up at all. So she, as far as speaking roles go, I love Saki the most just because she's always like yelling, cursing. She's got high energy. I really love that about her. But Tay is my favorite overall. She doesn't have any lines really. There's mostly grunting noises and sounds, but like all her actions are exaggerated and amazing. Like she's just kind of on autopilot until something catches her attention, and then she's either trying to eat it or trying to eat it. Yep. And then we have Ai, who was actually a idol herself for a major idol group that was actually getting super popular just before her untimely death, called Iron Frills. We'll talk a little bit more about that too. We have Junko, who was also an idol, but she was more an idol back in like the 80s Showa era, and so she has a different idea of who idols are supposed to be, what they're supposed to be, more or less. And we have Yagiri, who comes from the Edo period of Japan. She's a courtesan, and she's great in her own way. She like looks out for everybody, sort of like team captain mom sort of persona. And they don't really spend a lot of time on her like getting acclimated to the technology of today. But when they do touch on it, it's very light and very fun. She's just very appreciative of how far technology has come along. Our last member is Lily. She's a child star. She's tiny, and she also doesn't necessarily have a lot of lines. She's there to be like cute and high energy and springy, and every show about idols kind of needs to have that sort of character. And together they form Fran Shosho, the idol group that's going to take over Saga. And they aren't very good at it at first. Only Junko and I have any idol experience and moving like idols and dancing and things like that. And so they kind of have to teach everybody else how to make those movements. It's pretty good. Now we are going to get into a little bit of spoiler territory here. If you care a whole lot about spoilers, I would say click off from here, go watch the show, have fun. It's so a lot of fun, especially those first 2 episodes. Those first 2 episodes are phenomenal. I like all the other episodes. I like the other 4 episodes that have come out after it. I'm certainly not mad about. Some people are mad because they start focusing a little too much, in their opinion, on the idol portion of the idol anime. But I like it because it's what I signed up for, more or less. I signed up for zombies being idols, and that's what the show is. And anybody who's upset about that being what it is, why? It's what it advertised itself as when it came out eventually. I mean, at first it was like supposed to be the zombie thing, but you got on the train knowing that it was zombie idols And now you're mad because it wants to be an idol anime that just happens to have zombies in it? Like, that's the point! Okay, mini rant over, train that way. Oh, I hate that train. But it is what it is. So we're going to get into a little bit of spoiler territory, talking a little bit about certain things that I really liked. Well, actually, let me tell you about, before we get into that, what I actually dislike about the anime. There's only a couple of things, but they are there. Now, I don't like the manager too much. He is, okay, I do and I don't like him. I like that you can hear his voice actor just being super pleased and happy to do all of his lines with as much enthusiasm as possible. He is a master of delivery, and I appreciate his work as a voice actor for this character. It certainly makes the character more likable. That being said, for the most part, he is very abusive towards the girls, probably because they're zombies, and so he knows that he can't really damage them unless he really tried, but he's constantly yelling at them. There's one episode where he takes Sakura's nose. I mean, she gets it back real soon, but it's just like, he does these little things, and it makes me just not care for the character too much. Now, he does have moments where he is encouraging to them and does, you know, pep them up like a good manager should, but those parts are kind of like few and far between. Now, he also has like his own comedic moments, like in the gacha games, minor spoiler, where he does a perfect, and if you didn't, when you're watching, you can tell he's going to do it. He does a perfect biking across the planks, and instead of advertising the group like they're all there to do, he doesn't say anything about himself. He's very, like, demure. He's like, yep, my name is, yep, nothing to really talk about. Like, he's very like that. So, yeah. The other thing that I don't care for is when they're doing the idol portions. When they're doing, like, all the cool idol dancing and stuff and doing all the actions and whatever, it goes from being cell animation, where they, do the drawings through the computer, and goes into actual just CGI. And the CGI isn't necessarily not smooth, but it also isn't smooth. It's kind of like, it's very jarring. Like, to go from like anime done in like a digital art style to straight up just CGI. And it kind of also feels like they don't have to do that. There's an entire scene where Iron Frills is on a stage and they're watching Iron Frills. Like I said, there's a little bit of spoiler. And Iron Frills is done in the same way the rest of the show is done. But whenever Fran Shosho is on the stage, I don't know why. They're computer generated. And so it makes their movements look not as good as they should be, I guess is how I would put that. There's definitely there's a noticeable difference. And those are like really the only two things about it. I don't say that either of those are necessarily a thing that will make me stop watching this show, but it does make me feel, it does hiccup the show for me, more or less. Alright, so now getting into the more spoilery things I liked about certain episodes in particular, and why I like Tay so much. Tay is got the best actions. Like, everybody else is a lot of fun, but Tay is a mindless zombie who's just kind of following everybody else along. So it's actually kind of incredible when she actually does do her dances and everything like that, but even in those computer-generated moments when they're just like all kind of doing the same movements as programmed by the computer, they will have Tay's model like doing like zombie stuff in the background, which is just like a lot of fun. So at least they're doing that, so I give them credit for that. The entire episode, which Drive-In Tori and the gacha games are great. Tay is amazing. She starts crowing, and it's so good. It's so good. Even when they get super muddy, Sakura realizes that Tay is wearing a second shirt, even though and Tay actually like wins the games. So when it's her turn to speak, like she's making noises, but Sakura's like, "Hey, Tay, you have an extra shirt. Tear your shirt," and it's a Drive-In Tori shirt. She just rooster crows like, it's the best. I really love it. And not just that episode that she rooster crows in either. There's an entire episode where they're supposed to do a signing meetup, and the group actually runs into a bit of trouble. Tay does the rooster thing, but she's supposed to. But this is where Junko's ideas of what a idol should be, and idol shouldn't be like that close to the public, shouldn't be that approachable, they should be like a far-off dream, runs into some kind of problems with the rest of the girls, because for she's like, no, this is what idols do now. This is how we get popular, this is how we get noticed, as we meet with our fans, we do our sign-ups, we do our photo shoots, and that gets our name out there, and it shows that we appreciate the fans a lot, just like they appreciate us, and it keeps us going. And so they have a fight about that almost breaks up the group. And that's really all I want to spoil. I mean, I like that the first episode is based around death metal. I like that the second episode has an epic rap battle that you've probably seen because it's been all over the internet. And everything else is just really good. It's a good show. It has one or two things that I don't particularly care for, but everything else that I do like about it overshadows those things quite a bit and makes me enjoy watching it. So I suggest to you to watch Zombieland Saga. It's on Crunchyroll or any other place that you probably pirate anime from. I'm not judging. Go for it. Do what you gotta do. I have Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is free. You just don't, get the latest episodes right away. I pay for it, so I do. So that's me. And my privilege. Yeah. So, later this week, we're going to do the previews episode. Right after this video, I'm going to record the Doctor Who video, so that's coming up. So definitely, when you're done watching this, watch that. But definitely watch Zombieland Saga. Give that a look. Give all this, not all of this season's animes a try, because there is a couple that maybe we'll talk about the worst of this season. But I'm Fire Prince Silly. This has been Fire Prince Reviews, and until next time, enjoy comics, enjoy cartoons, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!